Hello!
Hello!
And welcome back to the workshop.
In this week's episode, we're going to be starting the Mosquito's bodywork.
My name is Oliver, and this is my dad, Andrew. He's a wicked engineer and my next door neighbour. We've always wanted to build a car together. So when I found my dream car in nightmare condition, we decided to embrace it, seize the day and re-engineer the entire car from scratch.
Well, it's looking more and more like a car every single day. A K20 A2 from a Honda.
And make your own gear knob kit. There you go.
This might take a while.
Things don't always go to plan. But when they do, it's a thing of beauty. Building a car and making memories with my dad. One of one, this is Project Mosquito. Right, so basically what we're going to be doing in this video is squaring the body, aren't we?
Yeah, because I don't know whether you noticed in last week's video, when it did the close-up shot, there was quite a big gap here. The top was okay, but in this corner, there was quite a big gap. You spot this edge?
Hang on. The radius is covered in tape. So is our screen straight? Our survey says?
Nope, nowhere near. We've got an 18mm gap at that side. Mm-hmm. The windscreen touches there.
Yep. Massive gap here.
Yeah, 19mm there. 16mm there, it's 5/8 of an inch. So we've got 3/4 of an inch gap there, 5/8 of an inch gap there.
Massive here, tight there. Massive here, tight there.
3mm there. And 15mm there. So we've got just under 5/8 there, just under 1/8 of an inch there. 5/8 at that end and 3/4 at that end. So yeah, we have a bit of a problem.
I mean, it's entirely possible that this windscreen hole was cut by a person.
It is.
And it's entirely possible that the windscreen hole, rather than being moulded, I'm saying, it's entirely possible that the windscreen hole is actually in the wrong place.
Yeah, you can see it has been cut by a jigsaw.
Yeah.
Because that one's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
A bigger radius than this side.
So I'm going to suggest that we don't trust the hole.
Now, one thing we can trust is this bulkhead in the glass.
The moral of the story this week's video is sponsored by not trusting the hole. So yeah, to summarise, this windscreen hole has been cut by a person with a jigsaw. And it's not necessarily in the right place. Even if the body's, I'm not going to suggest any of it's right. But we know this is right, we know this is a centre, we know that's a centre, we know that's a centre.
Yep.
But when all those three centres are centred, that's all out. So
It's out on both sides.
yeah, so this is right, and all of this is a lie, and all of that's a lie. So we're now in the lovely position where we get to choose.
Yeah.
Right, because let's face it, it's all lying to us, so we get to choose what the truth is. And what we'll do is, I'd rather remove, this is a better word for remove, but I'd rather be reductive.
Minimalise.
No, I'd rather be reductive than additive.
Yeah.
And like we said in last week's video with the sills, the way that we put a lot of work into the sills to make sure you never notice them because they line up with the body. We want to put a lot of work into this to make sure that you never notice it, which is the opposite to what people normally do with body kits and stuff like that. And we want it to be as streamlined as possible. So if we raise the bottom up slightly, that gets us a lot closer to our bulkhead.
Yep.
And if we drop this down, yeah?
Yeah, but also if we do drop, you've got to bring these corners in as well.
Yeah, I've now resigned myself to completely remaking, well, this. And it happened dramatically quickly. Just like, yeah, that's going.
Yeah, because the problem I have that now on these corners, this is dropped down, so the windscreen is lower here.
Low here.
And it's plus there. It's actually above the roof line.
Yeah.
So the curve of the window, and obviously you can't bend glass. So we've got to make the bodywork now fit the glass, but also make it more aerodynamic. So we would need to get rid of this. I don't know whether you can actually see it on camera, but there's a flat section there. And we want to get rid of that section and bring that radius all the way back here.
Yeah, and there's two lumps here. Well, yeah, you want to smooth the radius out completely, don't you?
Completely, yeah. So the roof then flows from the glass all the way through, all the way to the back.
Yeah, and there's two lumps. There's a lump here, and there's, much like my forehead, or my head in general, it's a bit lumpy. Right? I once went for a haircut, and this hairdresser, in fact, was it you? Was it me? Because we've both got lumpy heads.
Yeah.
And who are you? You once went for a haircut, and this person's like, my mum usually cuts her hair, and this hairdresser, my mum had been really busy, and so she just got, oh, just for God's sake, go to a barber, because we both look like nobody owned us. And this barber goes, do you want a 1 or a 2? And Dad had no concept of what that meant, so he goes, 1? And he just walks out bald. And he looked like a walrus. We've both got really lumpy heads. And this has that. It's definitely part of the fact, Mike, because it's got a really lumpy head. It's got 2 lumps here. And this like weird forehead. Last week, after I talked about the windscreen, 911 windscreen, I did some checks just to make sure, a bit of fact checking just to make sure I'm right before I put it on the internet. And the Singer DLS has a bonded in windscreen, and they put a vent in here to pull the wind, the air down over the back of the car.
It's got a cutout in the roof on it, so it literally drops down.
Yeah.
And then put a little piece over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how important it is to have it all.
In fact, it's like a little spoiler.
Yeah.
Just to direct the air down.
Much like a Stratos.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's a massive gap. If you just come around here, right, you can see it because it's white, and then black. But there's this massive gap in here as well. So it's not like we're married to precision, because there isn't any.
No, yeah, it catches at the top. I can fit my little finger in at this top edge.
Yeah.
I can fit all my fingers in the back edge.
Yeah, and yet it's tight here.
And yet it's tight on the door, the edge of the door, and this side here.
Yeah.
It needs a completely new roof skin.
Yeah.
It needs a new windscreen frame.
It needs new doors.
It needs new doors. Obviously, we've got to chop that off.
We've got to remove needs a new boot.
Yeah, we've got to cut all the boot out.
It needs where the back lights are needs removing.
Yep.
So there's only going to be about this much left.
Oh, we've got this.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we got that bit.
That's middle, innit?
Yeah.
And our distance is
5 mil plus.
Right.
So the roof's 5 mil too. Well, if we're playing the negative.
The glass is high here and it's low there.
Yeah, so it's 5 mil too high here and 5 mil too low there. So we can go 5 mil up, 5 mil down.
Yeah. And it's not too bad there actually. Yours is.
Mine is. Mine slipped in. 6 mil in.
Yeah, mine's not so bad there. But again, because it's on a radius, it could just be further around the radius. So it seems all right because it's further around. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And if that's
obviously if you've got a curved thing, if you measure to there rather than there, Because the hole's cut in the wrong place, you'll get a different measurement. So it might seem better than it is.
So these are roughly pretty much in the same place. So we've got a 9mm there. We've got 9mm there, but at the top, yeah, because can you see where it's cut with been cut with a jigsaw? So instead of that line being
The shape of the windscreen.
the shape of the windscreen, it goes in there. So there's more been chopped out there. So it's gone up, round, and then back in again. So if there's any you guys out there in the can you leave us some help in the comments, because it's flipping miles out.
What do you want them to? What do you want to leave? A bag of help.
Yeah, sends a large bag of help.
Bag of help, bucket of help. Let's face it, we'll take it in any shape or form we can get it. No, this might seem like hyperbole, but it's not.
No, this is a definite. The first time we've come across a problem that I can't instantly say, oh, well, we need to do this. Well, we know what we need to do, but going about it's...
Yeah, but it's about 2 years too late for that decision.
I'm laughing, but it's a nervous laugh. We do have a little bit of thickness in there that we don't have in there. That's a fixed position.
Yeah.
From the original car.
That's, well, no, because that's red and that's white.
Oh, and that's been added too, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cut down here. It was cut down here. This has been added, and then this is the seam inside where it was added. So there's no even telling that could be what's making it twisted.
Yeah.
It could have actually been installed twisted. So if we put a brace in now, right, and screwed it through, it might just be fixing in the twist.
Yeah.
Do we cut the boot out and just let it go floppy?
Well, we've still got this on.
And then, after a fashion. Okay, so...
Yeah, because this is original. Right. Because the seam is there. Yeah, so the problem we have is we don't actually know whether this back section, because this part from this part there, this part...
Yeah, from
down,
about here.
Down inside, all this part, and from the roof there,
yeah,
along there, has all been added.
After the fire.
After the fight, and... Yeah, it's twisted to hell.
I love that there's just a piece of box section. I mean, that's a really long piece of box section steel. It's like nearly 2 foot long, that.
Yeah, from this side you can see the piece that's been added, the red part.
Yeah.
This red part is from a different car. Obviously, that radius is different. All this is from the other car.
And this is much earlier.
Yeah, and that's a piece that's been put in there, and then it's been fastened in along this edge. So all this part is all different to all this side.
Yeah.
And in that section there's a piece of inch steel box section.
I got it.
Yep. No, it's in this. Just full of expanded foam.
A bit of extra rigidity. Right, I'm not kidding you. This must weigh in excess of 5 kilos.
Yeah.
That'd be lighter if it was steel. It's very heavy. And that just goes to show, just because it's fiberglass or just because it's carbon fibre does not make it light.
Yeah, and yeah, people talk about carbon fibre like it has no weight.
Like it's this wonder material.
Yeah, but carbon fibre weighs. All right, for its strength, it's stronger than the equivalent of.
Yes. So the idea is you can use less of it.
Yeah.
But if you use loads of it, it's still super heavy. Yeah. Just because it's carbon and just because it's fiberglass does not make it lightweight. And so if you're going to buy lightweight panels for a car, ask the weight. Ask how much they weigh before you buy them. Before you buy them.
Because you might not be saving any weight at all. You could even be adding weight and spending money.
Yeah. That's not to say that there aren't some incredible composite specialists and there aren't some incredibly constructed lightweight panels. But like I said, just get the weight before you buy, because you might be better just drilling a few holes than you are like spending $2,000 on a carbon fibre front end for something. Well, this will be lighter. It's half as wet. I'm not kidding. It's half the weight. Okay, rigidity is less. Oh, that's weird. So used to looking at it with a boot in.
It looks better already to me. Just with the flipping shade boxes removed.
You hated those so much, didn't you?
Yep. Spin this round.
The original GTM does not use these lights. These are a late GTM thing.
Yes, what they did, they tried to make it look more modern. But what those, in practice, all they did was make the boat even smaller than it was.
Well, no, it just... The problem with modernising everything is it ends up not old but not new.
Yeah.
And so it ends up as a bit of a... What's the word?
Hodgepodge.
So now, at least, we've got the body on level.
Yeah.
So we can put windscreen on and we can make a plan. But we're not going to change the glass area a lot, but there's no need for these to be as thick and stuck out as they are. These A-pillars are very... They remind me of gills on a bass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yet, compared to a modern car, they're tiny.
Oh yeah, the A-pillars are tiny. Yeah, but a modern car doesn't have a roll cage.
No, even with a roll cage in though.
Yeah.
The A-pillars are super thick. And one of the things about this car is the actual visibility forward and through the side windows, obviously when you're sideways, is a lot better. You don't get that big thick blind spot.
Yeah. So we need to take off material from the inner door frame to bring this in. In fact, it's got a lump in it there.
Yeah. And this is the same at this side. We've got a massive gap here, massive gap there.
Yeah, so we can bring this right in, and that'll make it nice and snug then, and then we can get it parallel to the roll cage tube all the way up inside. And that way we can weld a flange on, a flange bracket, not a bracket, but whatever.
A mounting point.
A mounting point on the roll cage to mount the door frame too, and that will reinforce the windscreen area.
Yeah, and because we've
keep it all square.
Yeah, because we removed, we showed you in a previous video, the big steel pieces and the tube that came up here. Now that's become, redundant completely. So now we're replacing that with something that's already there. So we're not actually adding anything. We just use it apart from a tiny flange.
Yeah, and
so
for now,
yeah, we're using a piece that
Yeah, and for now, the roll cage will keep the body all square and reinforce the windscreen frame and keep it all the same shape. Every time we put the body on, the windscreen frame will be the right shape even without the windscreen in it. But eventually, when the body's mounted finally and all the bolts go on and there'll be like a butyl rubber strip fits between the body and the chassis to stop any kind of moisture ingress, won't there, between the body and the chassis, and it all gets tightened together. This windscreen frame and windscreen will actually be functionally part of the chassis and reinforce the entire thing. So now the roll cage is going to make the body strong, but afterwards the body will make the cage strong. As you can see, there is a gap all the way down that's the same width, and then it gets to here and it touches. So what we're going to do is everything that touches gets removed, and then this can be pulled in. That's loads better, because we want the two fuller. Obviously, if you had a windscreen seal, then you're going to lift your windscreen up to whatever the height of your body is.
Yeah. They've got. I can fit my finger in here.
Yeah.
But the windscreen's actually on just on the edge there.
Yeah.
But if you look at the other side, it's parallel.
Yeah, same all the way up. But there's still a lip here and it's still proud there. So what we'll be able to do is actually remove car.
Yeah.
We
can build it up on the inside and then blend this all backwards.
Yeah, because we'll be remaking the roof skin anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm a lot happy now because we've kind of got a plan.
This is almost the same depth all the way down, until you reach out here. So that's great. Does yours pull in?
Mine disappears inside.
All right.
As does that a little bit there.
Yeah, that's all right. Here's pretty good. And what we'll have to do, we'll have to make a windscreen frame out of carbon fibre or fiberglass or something that can fit around, be bonded in obviously, but we can actually bond into the shell.
Yeah, we can bond it into the shell here, and then we can have between the glass and the carbon or fiberglass, we need about a 3mm gap all the way around, just to allow for the windscreen sealer to give us that little bit of flex in there and allow for expansion.
And it's a funny thing, we have a decision to make, which I don't think we've talked about on camera. We have a decision to make of, do we make a brand new body? Do we make this into basically a plug for a mould? Or a mould, and then make a brand new body out of... I would never make a whole carbon body, you know. I'd make it out of a mix of S-glass and carbon, I think. S-glass is basically modern carbon fibre. And
modern fiberglass.
Oh, sorry, modern fiberglass. The thing with carbon is there's 3 different sorts of carbon. There's wet layup carbon, which is what you can do pretty much in your own workshop. There is pre-preg carbon, which is where you've got basically pre-glued carbon that goes together in a mould, and then you put it in a big oven and cook it. And when you cook it, the glue goes off. And then there is dry laid carbon that then you infuse with resin and then cook.
Is that normally done in a vacuum?
Yeah, you need to put a vacuum bag on it and then you use the vacuum to draw the resin through the part. Massively labour intensive, massively expensive to make. And
then you need a huge oven to cook it in.
Yes, I think there are resins now that you don't need to put in an autoclave to cook. And S-glass is like a woven fiberglass rather than like, this was made with chopped strand. So you could easily reduce the weight of this body by 1/3 just by making it out of modern fiberglass.
Or we could even make it out of, we don't know about how good it's about, out of flax.
I've read a little bit about flax carbon. I really like the idea of flax carbon. I don't know enough about it to say anything about it on video.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I absolutely, because carbon fibre is terrible for the environment, really, and flax carbon's like pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All Porsche's racing stuff is made out of flax carbon now, but it is difficult to get a really good paint finish with flax carbon. But that's just work.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. So yeah, I don't know, but I don't. As terrible as this is, it's the last remaining large part of the original car.
It's the only remaining, apart from
Steering rack,
steering
shaft.
Steering racks, well, parts, yeah.
Indicators.
And indicators. There's nothing left of the original car.
I need to say a very big thank you to our now 17 Patreon members.
Yes, thank you very much.
I can't believe that. It's grown so much. It's brilliant. And especially a big thank you to our Slicks tier, who are the top tier Patreon members and get a shout out in the middle of the video. Alex Bottomley, Andy Wood and Doug Shot. They help us bring these, and as do all of our Patreon members, they help bring these videos to you every single week and allow us to make videos that we want to make rather than chasing an algorithm. So thank you very much. And if you're interested in unlocking an extra video every week and like behind the scenes photos and stuff, then you can check out the link in the description below. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the angle of this is different on that side.
Is it?
Yeah, because if you could, where the tube fits there, look, goes from the centre of the tube and just leaves a little bit on this side. That's this top corner. Yeah.
Is it rubbing now?
Yeah. Now we've dropped that side, that bit down, it's moved it so it's catching, whereas this one's clear here at this top corner, look, you can do that.
Yep.
Right, whereas that side you can't.
Yeah. Go on you, out and away. Bentley, come here. Come here. Right, if I sat down, you'd jump straight on my knee. Come here. You rubbish. Right, I'm going to sit down and you're going to jump on my knee and then I'm going to pick you up. I feel sorry for Bentley, really. Because all he wants is to be friends with Napoleon. And all Napoleon wants is to eat his face. The world's friendliest dog and world's most hard-headed cat. We've had a few comments asking what sort of dog Bentley is. He's an English Toy Terrier. Well, we've made the cab this much narrower, and it looks exactly the same.
Yep, when that's pulled into there, that's loads better.
Yep.
Even just tightening the front up, which brings makes the fiberglass parallel with the bulkhead.
Yeah.
Just by putting the washers on, has
brought this into line
brought
more.
that gap better, and it's lifted the screen.
Yeah.
And that's all right there now.
Do you want to put a bolt in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
One in that side, one in this side.
Yep.
So we're gonna put more hardware on because putting a big washer and a bolt on these and pulling it back has brought this in. So we're hoping that putting this on will pull this back and help to tuck this side in. It's super cattywampus.
Yeah.
I mean, this corner and this corner up here are just different.
Yeah.
They're completely different. And we've made kind of a symmetrical chassis. And so
because we've put the roll cage tubes in and they're parallel to each other. They are symmetrical.
Yeah.
We're trying to fit a non-symmetrical body onto a symmetrical form, and it's just not fitting.
a couple of weeks ago, we stood in this workshop and we talked about you making those stairs. And the fact that it was so much more work for you to make someone else's work right than it was.
Yeah, to make it right in the first place, yeah.
Just to make it right in the first place. And I think we're at that point. I mean, this one pulls down beautifully. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that one's just... What we need to do, we need to put the doors on. Because we've pulled the body. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it, put your leg against it. One of the doors doesn't fit at all, does it? This one, I think it's this one. Which makes sense if the body's not symmetrical. Yup.
That's the best doors I've ever fit.
Yeah. But look at this gap. I mean, I'm not making it up about gaps.
Yeah, this side is an awful lot better. It's not right, but it's better.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a couple of days later. We shouldn't be filming this late, really.
Oh.
In fact, this video's due up any moment now. But I was sat editing the video and I've had a bit of an epiphany, right? And the ending to the video, I just wasn't happy with it. It was a bit negative. It was a bit
wishy-washy.
Yeah, and we don't do negativity. There's enough negativity in the world, isn't there? And so I didn't, and I've had a little epiphany and I've figured out what's wrong with it. Which, knowing what's wrong with it is half the battle.
Yeah.
Right? So, basically, previously, when it was repaired, this body, if you come round here, right, this body was split from here to there.
So there.
Yeah, there and down, right? And this piece, as Dad mentioned at the beginning of the video, is from a different car, right? And when it was put together, either this line or this line wasn't straight. And
it wasn't parallel to this side of the body.
Well, what I think is, we know, because we have some photos that we were given by a previous owner, not the guy we bought the car off, but a previous owner got in touch with me and gave me like a PDF with a lot of photos on of work that was done by the owner before him and was given to him. And it was in a fire, and then it got repaired, and then this got put on it, and then it was crashed again. Yeah? And I think that the first time it was crashed, when the fire happened, right? Obviously, the guy didn't have a chassis table. He didn't have a jig.
Yeah.
So he repaired it to his best of his ability, but it wasn't straight. Then he's put the body on the chassis and repaired the body to match the bent chassis. But the problem has only come when we've put the wonky body on a straight chassis.
Yeah.
So I'm surmising that he fit a not quite straight. It could have been anything. Subframes might not have been on straight.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, there's quite a lot of give and take in subframes.
There's a lot of wiggle room in them subframes.
There's some big holes in them subframes. There's room for alignment.
Yeah.
And so, whatever happened has ended up with this line and this line not being straight. So the only way for us to sort out this and sort out this and make it the same as that is to split the body again.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut the car in half.
Yeah, well, 2/3 and a third.
Yeah. So whether or not we're actually going to use this body, correct it, and then use it as a body for this car, or whether we're going to make a new body, we've still got to correct this first, because this will become the, if we make a new body, this will become the mold.
Yeah. So it has to be right, no matter which method we take, and it just goes to show, me watching it as you're watching it now showed me what I couldn't see stood in front of it.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Over the years, hundreds of you at this point have asked me if I'm going to do like a Photoshop render, or if there's a drawing, or if I'll show you the thing, right? And I've always said, no, you'll have to wait till it's finished, because there's a problem with modern cars, and that is that they're all too fussy.
Yeah.
Right? And any digitally designed car, in fact, earlier in this video we mentioned the Singer DLS, right? £2 million car,
yeah.
right? The original Singer is really pretty. And Maz, who's the guy who designed the original Singer, spent, I think, like 2 or 3 months doing the wheel arches in clay, by hand, on the car. And the way those cars look is fantastic. The DLS was redesigned digitally.
Yeah, and the turbo's even worse.
Right, well, hang on. But you can put the DLS and the original one together, right? And the DLS is super fussy. And the reason is, on an iPad, you can't see, you lose perspective. Same thing with CAD, right? You can't see the finesse. You can't see the subtlety of the way that the light moves across curves, and you lose scale. Yeah. And so what people do is they add detail, and they add like obvious things to see. But when you look at something like an Alfa Romeo Tipo 33 Stradale, it's the subtlety that makes it beautiful, right? So that's why I will not show you. I've got loads of drawings of this thing, but I won't show you any of them. There will never be a Photoshop thing, nothing, right? But like Dad says, before we can get to any of that, it's so important that this is right. We can't do door hinges until the body's straight. And we can't do bonnet hinges until the body's straight. And because we can't do the bonnet hinges, we can't do a radiator duct, right? So that means
we can't put the radiator in, so we can't put coolant in the engine, so we can't run the engine.
So that means we can't do any wiring, because we can't run fans and stuff like that. We can't know our height for the fuel tank, so we can't put a fuel tank in it. We can't make, there's nothing we can do until this is right. Even if it's just right with some little tiny brackets on. Yeah. And we do roof skins and stuff later. But this might have felt like a really weird episode. It was a weird one to make, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is for us, because we've gone from using all our own stuff, making all our own things, to the first time we've introduced something from somewhere else. Even
though it's been here the entire time.
Yeah. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's the first time we've had dealt with it in conjunction with everything else properly.
Because the chassis and the roll cage is straight, and obviously the body isn't.
Yeah. So, thank you for being here with us and for experiencing this with us. Because it's a funky one this week. And it just goes to show the working out of how to do something is often way harder than the doing of it. The doing of this, the getting straight of this, simply requires
relatively simple,
chopping a third of the body off, making some little strips, drilling a load of holes, putting some little screws in, getting it all right, and knowing like what proportions are. But figuring out how to do it has taken us a week. and figuring out that because you don't know how to fix a problem until you know what the exact problem is. Yeah. And we didn't know whether it was, we've got so many problems. We've got a windscreen that's not cut straight. We've got, you know what I mean? Yeah. We've got doors from a different car. We've got bonnets from a different car. This piece is different from this piece, and all of that adds together.
It's a giant jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing.
It's a giant whodunit engineering puzzle. And so a huge thank you to you for bearing with us while we measure things 1,000 times and figure out what's wrong, because that's basically, but it is still a massive problem, but at least we know what the problem is now.
So we can cure it.
So a massive thank you to all of our Patreon supporters for bearing with our insanity, and a big thank you to all of you for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to show us that you've watched till the end of the video by leaving a mosquito down in the comments, because it really does help the videos, doesn't it?
And don't forget to leave us a comment.
Yeah, liking,
What do you think?
subscribing, commenting.
Yeah. Should we make a brand new body, or should we keep some originality and keep as much body as we physically can? What do you think? Leave us a comment.
Or do we do it like a ship? When they replace a ship with a ship of the same name, they start it with a piece of the original ship, don't they? So yeah, a huge thank you to you all for sticking with us through this one, and we'll see you all. Oh, please be awesome to each other.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all in the next video.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.